Welcome to the Managing Drought in the Southern Plains webinar series. This is brought to you by the Southern Climate Impacts Planning Program in association with NOAA, NIDIS, and the National Drought Mitigation Center. We normally have a longer extended briefing on the second Thursday of each month, but we've had to postpone that because of scheduling conflicts. So please watch for announcements for an extended briefing in the coming weeks. So what has been going on across the region in this last week? Well, we've seen some more improvements in eastern Oklahoma and Arkansas, a slight improvement in the Central Plains, but more bad news for New Mexico. We'll take a look at some of these state-by-state changes over the last month and some of the concerns about the underlying soil moisture that are making recovery difficult in some sections. So this is a drought monitor this week, and it's looking a little bit better, not quite as much of the deep red, especially across Kansas and even Nebraska, has seen some improvements as well as in the south. So in general, we've seen an easing of drought conditions as well as improvements across the southeast, where the extreme drought is in fact, even severe drought is pretty much gone. Here in this region, it looks similar pattern to last week, a little bit more improvement. We've now got some D1 in eastern Oklahoma, whereas last week is all D2 severe drought or higher, and it's a little bit degradations down in Texas. Further to the north, a little bit of improvement in South Dakota, cut off some of the D4 area, and a little bit in Nebraska, and Kansas is pretty much the same as it was last week, but they still have these severe long-term impacts. We'll wait for soils to thaw out to see what really happens. So here's what's changed over the last month. The figure on the left is from February 12th, and the figure on the right is from this week. And what we can see in Oklahoma is a drastic improvement, especially across eastern Oklahoma. The drought area, the exceptional drought, has gone from just under 10% now, whereas it was almost 40% a month ago. So a lot of improvements there. In Kansas, that D4 area along the southern border with Oklahoma has been removed, and but there's still a lot larger area here in this D3 drought. 64% of Kansas is still in extreme drought, and 21%, still in exceptional drought. Texas has been a mixed bag for quite a while, but it shows that drought, the extreme and exceptional drought categories are actually creeping up a little bit, especially in southern Texas and an area around Wichita Falls. There has been some improvement out into the northern Texas panhandle. And New Mexico, though, has been a very troubling situation where extreme drought has really expanded across the central part. Snowpack in New Mexico is running about 70 to 80% of average in most basins. So it looks like it's going to be another dry water year coming off that, and with the underlying soil problems, that's going to be a challenge for New Mexico and downstream areas. The rainfall patterns, the top two panels are shorter term, the longer term are on the bottom, and we see that the blue areas is some rainfall that we've had in the northern part of the region, but missing out in Texas and especially in New Mexico, going back to even last October. The underlying problems is the topsoil across much of the region is in pretty good shape now with recent rains, but the underlying soil where you see the reds are areas where there still is a lot of the soil column that has to be filled up before we'll see good runoff and responses in the reservoirs. Looking at the next 5 days, we don't see much of that precipitation. Most of it is off to our north and to our east. And warm temperatures, especially the next couple of days, spreading in across the red lines you see in there and across the southern part. Into next week, we see another shot of cooler air, not really cold probably, but a little bit cooler. And that kind of mixed pattern, there's a chance of maybe a system coming through sometime towards about this time next week. And the 3-month outlook has not been updated yet. It will be updated next week, so please check back for that. And hopefully we'll see some pattern changes there. And likewise, the drought outlook was updated last week, so no changes this week to it. They were looking for improvement across the northern parts there, so hopefully that'll look a little bit better. So please join us in our full webinars as well as these briefings. You can reach us at southernclimate.org, and you can sign up and receive notices of these. And we hope that we'll have some more good news for you in the near future. Thank you for joining us, and have a great week.